is a little frame that I do carry around with me all the time. I put different people in the frames. We have like this big inspiration to me. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name is Blueface.
I remember when I first listened to Nectar by Joji, and this goes with all the Joji albums, because I'm pretty sure I listened to them all in one day. Maybe I separated them. But I remember listening to all of them, In Tongues, Ballads 1, Nectar. This was long before Smithereens came out, and I didn't like them. Now, I already did a review for Ballads 1, you can go watch it. And honestly, my opinion on it has changed a little. I kind of like it more than what I said when I reviewed it, but I'll get into all this in a second. I was never a big fan of Joji when I first listened to his music. Now, I haven't seen the Ballads 1 review since I made it. I didn't rewatch it in preparation for this video. I know I'm a bad reviewer, but I'm pretty sure I just was very negative about Joji, and at least that album, whereas like most of Joji's music, and I've seen this with a lot of people's opinions, and this was my original opinion on him, is that all of his albums have at least one like amazing song on it. You know, sometimes they have 2 or 3, but they at least have one like amazing 10 out of 10 songs, and the rest are just, you know, they're mid. They're not bad, but you know, there's not something that at least I would listen to again. And that was my whole Joji mentality until Smithereens came out. I really enjoyed Smithereens. Almost all of the songs made it onto my playlist. And I also reviewed Smithereens. You can go watch that. And so that made me want to re-listen to the album. So I did. I re-listened to Ballads 1. I did a review on it. I still didn't like it that much. Now, that review was a while ago, and I do enjoy it a bit more. I maybe bumped my rating up 1 point. Maybe, not a whole lot. It's still not my favorite Joji album. But this album actually grew on me the most. When I first listened to Nectar, I only liked Daylight, and I thought that song was amazing, and all the other ones were fine. There's nothing special, nothing that I would listen to again. But since I first listened to this album, I bet I've listened to it in full maybe 5 or 6 times, and every time I re-listen to it, I always add more and more songs to my playlist. Now, this album is 18 songs long, and that's a lot. That's a lot for an album. But none of them are long. You know, this like with 18 songs, you're like, oh, this album is probably like an hour and a half. No, it's 50 minutes. 53. That number's popping in my head, so we're gonna go with that. It's like 53 minutes long because most of the songs are pretty short. The longest one I think is 4 minutes exactly, and it's Like You Do. Great song. But all of them are around 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes if he's feeling a little spicy. But they're all pretty short, and so this album, at least for me, it never feels boring. I think what makes this album not boring to me is that none of the songs really sound the same, at least in the order they are. Like, some of the songs are ballads, they're slow, sad music. Some of them are, you know, happy, fun music. But it's never like a sad song. It's never a sad, slow song, then a sad, slow song, then a sad, slow song. So I know I didn't say that right. Don't matter. So it never feels like it's just one big song, and it never gets really boring. Like, you go from Like You Do to Your Man. Like You Do is this very slow, sad song, and then Your Man, it's kind of like this techno pop song. And so like none of the songs really sound the same except at the first part, You and Modus. I guess I get them confused, and so those are really the only back-to-back songs that sound similar to me. But I think that's the reason why this album never gets boring, at least to me. Now, like I said, there are 18 songs on this album. When I first listened to it, I only added Daylight to my playlist, so that's 1. But then I re-listened to it. I added Gimme Love, Run. Then I listened to it again, and I added Normal People, Afterthought, You, Modus, TikTok. I added so many more songs, like, every time I re-listened to it. So now I have 14 out of the 18 on my main playlist. And so this album has grown on me so much. Now, the only songs that I didn't add to my playlist were Upgrade, High Hopes, Nitrous, and Reanimator. And those are the songs that, you know, I'm like, after 5 listening to this album, I'm still not convinced. I still think they're average, especially Reanimator, I think is probably my least favorite on this album. That actually goes great with what I'm about to say. The features. There are 6 features: Diplo, Omar Apollo, Lil Yachty, Ray Brown, Benet, and Yves Tumor. I'm probably not saying that right. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, which I probably am. I'm sorry. But those are the only features on this album. There are 6 of them, and I think for the most part, they're pretty good. Now, I'm pretty sure Ray Brown and Diplo, they're just producers. They just made the beats. So they're not like, they don't have a verse on the songs. But Omar Paulo, Lil Yachty, Benet, and Yves Tumor, I'm going to say it wrong again. I'm pretty sure they all have verses. I know like Benet, Omar Paulo, and Lil Yachty do. I don't know about the last one. Like I said, that person is on Reanimator, my least favorite song, so I don't listen to it that much. But my favorite feature is probably Benet on Afterthought. Afterthought's probably also maybe my favorite song on this. I don't know. It's probably tied with like Gimme Love and Normal People. And Lil Yachty, I also really enjoyed. Now, he's on the song Pretty Boy, which when I first listened to it, I would have said this is the worst song on the album. But that song has grown on me so much. I think I just love the song. It's not something I would listen to. I think Joji and Lil Yachty go so good on the song together, and it's just a good, fun, happy song to listen to. And Omar Paulo is probably my least favorite. Well, maybe, I don't know. I forgot what I just said in the past minute. I just don't really like High Hopes. I think him and Joji do good together, but that song is pretty short and it's forgettable for me. Like I've listened to this album so many times and I can't like remember how it goes really. Now, this album, like I said, it's grown on me so much, and that really goes for all of the Joji albums. I think as of now, my ranking for his albums would go Nectar, Smithereens, Ballads 1, and In Tongues.
I got that 3.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Shaq West is not ready. That's what I say this all the time. He's gonna learn.
Okay.
And with all that being said, I'm going to give Nectar by Joji a 9 out of 10. Now, there's some part of me saying that I want to give this a 10 out of 10, but I think, at least for me, I think I've only given like 2 10s out, and those are from some of my favorite albums. You can see them, they're on the wall, wherever, I'm pointing to them. And so I really only give 10s to albums that I personally love. Like, really, 10 and 9s are the same for me. Like, if I give it a 9, it's basically a 10. I just give the extra point for how much I personally love that album. And so maybe after, like, another listen, I'll probably give it a 10. So it's basically a 10, but we're just going to say 9 for right now. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like the video, comment on the video, go like someone else's comment. You know what? We're doing like a school assignment. Leave a comment and then reply to 2 other comments. I don't really care, man. You don't got to do it. Also, I added new things to the wall. This is probably all that's going to be added to the wall. I still have more right there. You can't see them. But I just don't have any space up there. I don't know. Tell me, what do you guys think? Should I add them to the sides? Sides right here? I don't think it'll look that good. And plus, I don't have any more of the hanging things. So I got to get more of those. But yeah, goodbye.